On a day that promised to rewrite the rules of the automotive industry, BYD lifted the curtain on its most ambitious project in Shenzhen. The air in the exhibition center carried a palpable electricity, mixing the aroma of fresh coffee with the buzz of hundreds of smartphones capturing every detail. Wang Chuanfu, the company's chairman, took the stage with the poise of someone about to permanently alter humanity's relationship with electric vehicles. In the shadows, two prototypes covered by silver cloths awaited their historic moment. Chaqian, unveiling of the Super E platform, was not just a technological announcement, but a manifesto on the future of mobility. As the covers fell from the new Han L sedan and Tang L SUV, strategically installed thermal cameras projected real-time images of the battery systems in operation. Spectators could literally see energy flowing through the vehicles, a visual spectacle that transformed complex physical processes into technological choreography. The secret lay in the new blade battery modules with LFP chemistry, arranged like samurai blades in a metal case, compact enough to free up extra space in vehicles, yet dense in energy to challenge the laws of conventional physics. The live demonstration that followed seemed extracted from a science fiction script. A Han L connected to an experimental charger reached 80% capacity in 5 minutes and 17 seconds, just enough time for most of the audience to finish their coffee. As the digital clock hands ran, sensors embedded in the floor translated electrical power into light pulses that danced across the pavilion ceiling, creating a visual symphony of electrons in motion. The megawatt system functioned as an artificial heart for the vehicle, pumping 1,000 kiloliters of energy through liquid nitrogen-cooled cables that emitted a ghostly mist. Behind the scenes, engineers monitored dozens of screens with real-time data. The true revolution was not just in charging speed, but in the intelligent thermal architecture that kept the batteries at a precise 25 degrees C throughout the process, a feat equivalent to boiling water while keeping an ice cube intact inside. This thermal stability, combined with the 30,000 RPM motors that spun faster than airplane turbines, allowed vehicles to switch between states of rest and maximum power in milliseconds. BYD's deployment strategy was as bold as the technology itself. While Tesla maintains its focus on global expansion, the Chinese automaker announced the construction of 4,000 ultra-fast charging stations in its national territory alone, a network that promises to make range anxiety as obsolete as paper maps. The first customers who reserved their vehicles through the pre-sale program will have exclusive access to green corridors, strategic routes where the new stations will ensure transcontinental trips without significant interruptions. The market impact was immediate and visceral. On the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, BYD shares surged 6.2% even before the end of the event, while analysts on Wall Street began recalculating their projections for the sector. Urban mobility experts are already speculating on how cities could redesign their public spaces when gas stations give way to micro-charging stations integrated into smart parking meters or building facades. For the North American consumer, the implications are both promising and challenging. BYD remains silent on concrete plans for expansion in the U.S. market, but inside sources suggest advanced talks with dealership networks and energy companies. Adapting the existing electrical infrastructure to support megawatt systems would require massive investments, an obstacle the company intends to circumvent through partnerships with semiconductor manufacturers and energy storage startups. Meanwhile, on the automaker's secret test tracks, professional drivers describe the experience of driving the new models as controlled shock. The 0-60 mph acceleration in 2 seconds doesn't just translate into impressive numbers, but a radical reconfiguration of the relationship between driver and machine. Intelligent traction systems distribute power with surgical precision, transforming tight curves into virtual straight lines. Through algorithms that learn with every mile driven, critics point to practical challenges: how to balance urban electrical grids during peak demand. What safety protocols will be necessary to handle 1,000 amp currents? BYD responds with demonstrations of resilience. batteries pierced by projectiles that don't catch fire, charging cables that self-repair after accidental cuts, fault detection, systems that anticipate human problems by up to 0.3 seconds. On the global stage, this innovation reignites the race for EV supremacy. Tesla executives reacted with careful statements, highlighting ongoing investments in new generations of superchargers. Traditional automakers accelerated launch schedules, while electric mobility startups seek emergency partnerships for technology, licensing. The real winner, however, seems to be the very concept of sustainable transportation, now more viable for drivers who previously rejected EVs due to time constraints. As the first Han El models begin to circulate on the streets of Shanghai and Beijing, a new chapter begins in automotive history. The promise is not just to replace combustion engines, but to radically redefine our relationship with time and space. In the words of a BYD chief engineer during an exclusive interview, "We're converting idle minutes into productive miles. Every coffee break, every wait in the bank line now becomes a charging opportunity." Meanwhile, in secret laboratories, rumors suggest that the next generation of the system has already reduced charging time to 4 minutes and 12 seconds in controlled tests, numbers that keep the entire industry on high alert.